Throughout Trump's presidency, liberals have called him a dictator. They called Trump anything under the sun, Nazi-like, totalitarian, whatever. I mean, listen to some of the garbage nonsense they spew.
Trump is acting like a third world dictator here.
Wannabe dictator like Donald Trump.
Donald Trump continues to behave like an itinerant dictator.
Donald Trump is out. He's acting like a dictator.
So what does that make Joe Biden and his merry band of, well, dictators? They're preparing to lock down the economy again, mask our children, take away our lawfully and constitutionally owned guns, tax money we've already been taxed on, and take away our rights to free speech. I mean, some even want to make it a hate crime to criticize Dr. Fauci.
Bottom line, we don't have to worry about this one, right?
This is not a major threat for the people in the United States, and this is not something that the citizens of the United States right now should be worried about.
People should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. If you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense that it likely would be more effective.
It's very, very strongly leaning towards this could not have been artificially or deliberately manipulated.
Are you still confident that it developed naturally?
I'm not convinced about that. I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China until we find out, to the best of our ability, exactly what happened.
They want to make it a hate crime to criticize that guy because of course, he could never be wrong. I mean, liberals ruin everything. I mean, they really do. Name one thing, one thing that liberals have ever made better. I mean, everywhere, give or take, all places they have total control over, places where everything gets done their way. I'm talking state, local government. People are leaving in droves. These cities and states are complete dumps. And it's not because of something like a meteor strike or an alien invasion or an earthquake. It's not like they didn't see this coming. It is directly related to their policies. They pass, quite frankly, really stupid laws that include ridiculous taxes. They let people shoot heroin on the street. They let people take over 8 blocks of a major city and declare themselves a separate Chaz-Chop autonomous zone. I mean, California, Connecticut, New York, the list goes on and on. In Detroit, you've had, I don't know, exclusive Democratic control for like more than half a century. The city's a mess. And when the Republican points that out, liberals they can't argue the facts on it. So what do they go to? Their number one talk, you're a racist. That's what they got. Perfect example. Remember Baltimore? After the riots for Freddie Gray's death occurred, a city that was basically already in shambles, burned and looted by its own people. This was largely the response of the Democratic Party.
Make the phone call, send the email, show up. You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives. And unfortunately, there's plenty to go around.
This is a particular moment in American history where 400 years of oppression, 400 years of racism are being addressed in a very, very powerful way. That can't compare to anything else. And people's voices needed to be heard.
This is not just a moment, it is a movement. It is a movement that is fueled by the diversity, the beautiful diversity of who we are coming together as a unified body, demanding, in this case, change and justice for everyone.
Nope, it was unlawful riots. Somehow, though, these liberals, they thought the level of outrage became this level of justification. This is about bad leadership by Democrats. Plain and simple. Look, I know some liberal in Baltimore right now is probably watching this, but like, no, Carl, it's about race. Is it? I mean, okay, fine, let's say it is. What is the problem? Because those Baltimore rioters, where they were burning down their own city at a time when Baltimore had a black mayor, a black police chief, a majority black police force, a majority black city council, a black president with a black attorney general, your argument sucks. It has nothing to do with racism. It's not about racism. It's not about whatever they said, the 400 years of oppression. It's about bad policies. You try to make it about race, but your argument against my opinion cannot be based in any reality. Nothing supports their stance whatsoever. You would think that one Democrat somewhere, any Democrat would look at this under this pesky thing called data, or even maybe open the first page of a history book before opening their mouth on any topic. Say, I don't know, you could do this all day. Pick one. Healthcare. It was best when Obama and his friends, they wanted to overhaul the entire healthcare system since their flagship enterprise, the VA, did so well under government control. I mean, sure, what could possibly go wrong? We'll do it for the rest of the country, right? Sure, what they sold the American people sounded great. Oh, wow, free health care for everyone. But again, this thing called reality was that they were going to take every dollar that was being used in the system for research, for grants, for innovation, and redirect it to providing a one-size-fits-all healthcare plan that even included maternity care for men. Real great job, Democrats. This is what you get when you get their policies. And then they said their surrogates went out and they said, oh, look at how healthy everyone is in Sweden, Denmark, and a few other European nations. Great, that's their example. What they didn't tell you is that how long those folks wait for an appointment, a cancer screener, or anything else they need. And you know what? What they also conveniently forgot to mention is when a prominent person in those countries needs some actual health care in a timely manner, you know where they go? America. Why? Because we are the cutting edge. We do it better because our system is better than their system. So why are we diving headfirst into it? Oh, by the way, when a virus leaked from a Chinese virology lab and killed millions of people, you know who engineered a vaccine in record time? Trump, in America. Not Sweden, not Denmark, or Chad, Sudan, Nigeria. It was America. And you know who benefited from America's medical breakthrough? Everyone else in the world, because our free market system works. When America's on top, everybody else benefits too. You have this argument with a liberal, and they'll just change the subject. This is what they do. When they lose an argument, they just change the subject. Oh, well, it's because the rich need to pay their fair share. Really? Okay. Let's have that argument too. What's their fair share? And they'll never answer it because they don't know. Most of these people advocating for the rich to pay more don't even know what they pay.
The top 1% in this country pays very much less than 10%. Very much less than 5%.
So what's fair? The top 1% should pay 10% of America's income taxes? 20%?
No, they should pay somewhere around 15%. They don't pay 5%. Anybody could see that as unequal and unfair.
So they should pay 15%, he says. And the richest 1% now pay less than 10%. Then he said less than 5%. But that's so silly because, and I bet most of you don't know this, the IRS says the richest 1% of taxpayers already pay 34%. Twice what Sharpton wanted them to pay.
Oh, God, you can't make this stuff up. This is my point. Liberals have no idea what they're talking about most of the time. They just don't. I mean, never mind the irony of a guy complaining the rich don't pay enough while making millions of dollars himself and avoiding paying taxes on it. Democrats are always trying to raise taxes. I honestly, I can't recall a time in my life when a Democrat ever lowered taxes. I really can't. I just don't know any. 38 years old. I mean, seriously, why isn't every Republican running on this simple banner? Hi, I'm Republican. My name is X. I want to lower taxes. That dude over there running as a Democrat will make you pay more. Period. End of story. Full stop. I mean, come on, GOP. Let's get our act together and get some messaging on this. Seriously, everywhere liberals are, businesses are leaving. Mostly because of taxes. California, a beautiful place, tons of reasons for businesses to be there, abundant natural resources, it's got everything. Why are people leaving? Because Newsom wants to raise taxes, he wants control, he wants to shut down your business because Democrats ruin everything. Where are they going? Conservative states, Florida, Texas, Wyoming, etc. This is not rocket science. Look at the policies of where they're coming from, look at the policies of where they're going to. Take notes and make your state like that. It's the simplest concept. I just don't understand why people don't get it. And they'll come back and say, oh, well, Carl, if they just had some basic income, it would really help people out. This is the new policy, from all those failed liberal utopias. Really? Really? So if we just give people money, it'll help everything else like we did with the COVID unemployment subsidies that went out? Really? That worked out really. Turns out that if you pay people not to work, guess what they don't do? They don't work. Yet another liberal policy leads to businesses suffering. Because when people don't work at the entry level, you can't get employees because they make more money if they're not working. Oh, look, I could do this all day. You pick any issue. I will show you why the policies I vote for are better than those of the Democrats. And even in the face of all this, most of these people, when presented with overwhelming evidence, will still not vote Republican. That's how stubborn they are.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.